The beginning of your manga or your light novel will be one of the most important aspects of creating it. This will be the first glimpse your audience has of your story, so it's important to create a beginning that really draws those readers in and lets them know about the story you're creating. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 10 ways you can begin your manga, comic, or light novel. My first method is start in the middle of the action. This technique can be especially helpful if you are creating a shonen, an action, or a high intensity story where your audience may want to get to the action as fast as possible. By starting the story in the middle of the action, you can help to draw those readers in quickly and also get straight to the point as soon as possible. Rather than slowing down the story with too much introduction at the beginning, you can jump straight to the middle of the action where there might be a battle scene or an intense sequence happening. My second method is to start with a hook or a question. You can start with something rather mysterious at the beginning of your manga or light novel, something that your audience would question what it means. You could show something unexpected or reveal something like a mystery where your audience will wonder what will happen, and the only way to understand what is going to happen is by reading more of the story and seeing what comes next. My third method is to focus on the unexpected. Creating something really unexpected or surprising can help to build curiosity. For example, you might show your characters going about their daily lives and then all of a sudden you reveal the outside world and it's all post-apocalyptic, for example. Something unexpected can help to build curiosity and make your audience wonder what is going to happen next and where the story is going. My fourth method is introduce the world through your character's eyes. Try stepping into the shoe or the role of your character and understand how they see the world through their eyes. In a manga, you can even show the artwork to really express your character's inner thoughts or perspective. What I really mean by this method is some people see the good in the world, and so for those people, they might focus more on the positive aspects of that world. Whereas some people might see the negative things in the world, and they might focus more on the bad or darker things in the world. Or some people might be more neutral and they see the world as it is. And you can really consider this through showing your character's perspective, through the artwork or through their thoughts and feelings or even through their dialogue. Think about how your character is seeing that world and how you can use those characters' thoughts to reveal that world to your readers. My fifth tip is start with a problem. Where there's a problem in the story, it will force your characters to take action and figure out how to solve the problem. If you reveal a problem straight at the beginning of the story, it can help to introduce the main purpose of the story really quickly. For example, there might be a sudden event at the start of the story that forces your characters to figure out a solution to it. This problem may revolve around your character, your character's family or friends, or a problem that affects the entire world as a whole. A villain might suddenly come into power at the beginning of the story, and this is a major problem, especially if it's going to affect the entire world, and so this would force your characters to take action. Consider how you could add a problem at the start of the story that might force the characters in your book to consider their next move really quickly. My sixth method is to start with the end. If the ending of your story is something more dire or unexpected, that can be a great start to your story too. It can also help to add a lot of foreshadowing. Starting with the end can be a great way to start from something unexpected and create a more dire story from the beginning. My seventh tip is use imagery to present the scene. Now, this is a technique that I would recommend using more for manga over light novels, but keep in mind that imagery itself can also be a great way to introduce a story. Now, this is more important when you're starting your story with a dream sequence. Your character might have a very foreshadowing dream, but you can use a lot of images and symbolism to really reveal that. Through the images and the symbolism you use, you can reveal something without giving too much details away. So if you are introducing your story with a dream sequence, try and use mysterious imagery or symbolism in order to get the message across without giving all of the details away. My eighth tip is start with your character's actions. Your character's daily life is a great way to introduce the characters and reveal how they live their lives in your story. So, for example, let's say your character lives in a zombie apocalypse world, and at the beginning of the story you see your character putting on a particular outfit or wearing goggles or something like that. And that is something rather unexpected, but this is a moment in their daily lives for this character. Or in another example, in a more simple, less harsh example, maybe your character is preparing to go to work, and so they are putting on a particular uniform and they are going to work, and that reveals information about who your character is simply by how they are living their daily lives. Even if your character simply goes to school, you can still reveal information about that character. How do they get to school? Do they ride their bike? Do they walk? Do they go on a train? How do they interact with the people around them when they get there? Do they go to school early? Do they turn up late? Do they get there always on the dot of time? So think about how your character lives their daily lives, and revealing that at the start can reveal information about your character and the story itself. My knife method is use narration or show your character's inner thoughts. Sometimes a great way to introduce a story is to show your protagonist's main thoughts in the story. They can sometimes narrate the beginning of the story, introducing the story as if they are the one who is telling it. This technique is something that I feel is important to use sparingly, but when used sparingly, it can be a great method to introduce the story and the world as your character is experiencing it. If you want to be really creative, you could try having a character who is not the protagonist being the narrator. Maybe the story is told through a side character's eyes, for example, and they are narrating the story and introducing the protagonist and the world. My 10th method is show an event outside the main characters, but an event that directly involves the story. This can help to build foreshadowing. For example, you might show an event that is affecting other characters outside the main cast to reveal either a dangerous situation, to reveal the truth about an event, or to reveal how the characters are experiencing something. For example, maybe a villain rises to power at the beginning of the story and the world falls into destruction. But the main points of the story are set later on in the story. So you reveal that event to reveal what happened, and then you skip 20 or 100 years into the future to reveal your main cast and how they are experiencing their lives now. Alternatively, you could reveal events that are on the same timeline, but reveal another event that directly correlates with what your characters are doing. For example, the villain might be making some dark decisions in the background, and you reveal this dark decision making at the beginning, and then you skip to what your characters are actually doing right now. So by revealing an event that is outside of the main characters, you can introduce the story in a unique way that reveals information about the rest of the world before really going deeper into your cast and how they are involved with this event. Maybe your characters don't even know about this event at the start, but you are giving your readers information and letting them in on a secret about the story. Now, before I end this video, I just want to give you one more bonus tip that you should keep in mind when writing the beginning of your manga, comic, or light novel. Try and leave things open in the beginning and avoid giving too much away. Sometimes it can make for a more meaningful story if you keep the details more vague or simplistic before revealing all of the details later on. This is especially important if you're choosing to foreshadow in the beginning or reveal an event from the end at the beginning. The unexpected is what will build interest, and so in order to keep things unexpected or surprising, it's best to reveal some information but also keep some information for later on in the story. Avoid giving too much away at the start in order to keep things unexpected or surprising. So thank you so much for watching my video today, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know about how you're writing the beginning of your manga, comic, or light novel, because I would really love to hear your thoughts. I think one of my favorite techniques for revealing the beginning of the story is having a lot of foreshadowing or revealing an event from the end at the beginning. I think it's such a great technique for foreshadowing. I would love to hear what techniques you like the best when you are creating your stories. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!